Our world is full of wonders. Some we create, and others we destroy. But why do we value what humanity can make over what nature gives freely? Have we strayed so far from our sense of wonder that we could knowingly devastate the greatest wonders of all? Immensely vast, the ocean seems endless, both in its depth and its generosity. Woven through the food we eat and air we breathe, the common thread of what sustains us is always the sea. But blinded by our selfishness, we have pushed past its limits and exploited the ocean out of greed. Now, faced with its decline, we have a choice. Reignite awe for all we've taken for granted, or forever wonder what our ignorance has cost. This World Oceans Day, join us as we spark new appreciation for the ocean and call on decision makers to honor the ocean's wonder when determining its fate. Because the ocean is our world's greatest wonder. It's time we treat it that way. Our world is full of wonders. Some we create, and others we destroy. But why do we value what humanity can make over what nature gives freely? Have we strayed so far from our sense of wonder that we could knowingly devastate the greatest wonders of all? Immensely vast, the ocean seems endless, both in its depth and its generosity. Woven through the food we eat and air we breathe, the common thread of what sustains us is always the sea. But blinded by our selfishness, we have pushed past its limits and exploited the ocean out of greed. Now, faced with its decline, we have a choice. Reignite awe for all we've taken for granted, or forever wonder what our ignorance has cost. This World Oceans Day, join us as we spark new appreciation for the ocean and call on decision makers to honor the ocean's wonder when determining its fate. because the ocean is our world's greatest wonder. It's time we treat it that way. Our world is full of wonders. Some we create, and others we destroy. But why do we value what humanity can make over what nature gives freely? Have we strayed so far from our sense of wonder that we could knowingly devastate the greatest wonders of all? Immensely vast, the ocean seems endless, both in its depth and its generosity. Woven through the food we eat and air we breathe, the common thread of what sustains us is always the sea. But blinded by our selfishness, we have pushed past its limits and exploited the ocean out of greed. Now, faced with its decline, we have a choice. Reignite all for all we've taken for granted, or forever wonder what our ignorance has cost. This World Oceans Day, join us as we spark new appreciation for the ocean and call on decision makers to honor the ocean's wonder when determining its fate, because the ocean is our world's greatest wonder. It's time we treat it that way. Our world is full of wonders. Some we create, and others we destroy. But why do we value what humanity can make over what nature gives freely? Have we strayed so far from our sense of wonder that we could knowingly devastate the greatest wonders of all? Immensely vast, the ocean seems endless, both in its depth and its generosity. Woven through the food we eat and air we breathe, the common thread of what sustains us is always the sea. But blinded by our selfishness, we have pushed past its limits and exploited the ocean out of greed. Now, faced with its decline, we have a choice. Reignite all for all we've taken for granted, or forever wonder what our ignorance has cost.
Colleagues, warm welcome to all of you for today's World Ocean Day celebrations. It's my honor to invite team guest. I request Dr. Balakrishnan Nair to accompany them. Please, V. Balakrishna Reddy, Chairman, Telangana Higher Education Council, and guest of honor, Professor Hiralal Menon, Vice Chancellor, Goa University. I request our Director, Dr. Balakrishnan Nair, to kindly welcome our esteemed chief guest, Professor V. Balakrishna Reddy, with a bouquet of flowers. I request our Director, Dr. Balakrishnan Nair, to kindly welcome our guest of honor, Professor Harilal B. Menon, with a bouquet of flowers. Now, I request our Director, Balakrishnan Nair, to kindly welcome our guest of honor. I would like to invite our Director, Dr. Balakrishnan Nair, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning. Respected Professor Balakrishna Reddy, Dr. Harilal Menon, my colleagues and friends from INCOIS. It is my privilege to greet you a happy Ocean Day today. So it's very special for INCOIS, as you know, because we are holding many international organizations or international bodies which manage and which coordinate the Ocean Decade programs, that is of UN Decade programs. And we have a lot of challenges in the ocean. And as I was telling, sir, INCOIS is actually born to deal all the ocean challenges. From 2001 onwards, we are on the job. Almost one and a half decades before UN is declaring us UN Ocean Decade, 2021 to 30. So our responsibility as ocean scientists to deal with ocean and deal all the challenges of ocean and make an ocean better for the younger generation, the next generation, is very huge, very high. So today's the theme of Ocean Day is the sustain what sustain us. So sustainability is one of the theme in the ocean challenges. As you know that we have 10 challenges. The ocean sustainability is there as a integral part in all these 10 challenges. The World Ocean Day celebrates on oceans essential wonders. So the theme is the wonders sustain what sustain us. So the wonders is mainly for the humanity. If these wonders are there, we are very clear that the humanity is not there. So that's the reason we declare, the UN declared, we, the scientists, need to do the science. What we want is the ocean we need and the future we require. So the work we do at INCOIS and all over the world by the ocean scientists directly determine the future of the world. So we are very important people here to deal with the oceans. So once again, I wish you all the very good greetings for the World Ocean Day. So see, one of the quote by the UN Secretary General, Octavio Guterres, that humanity can count on the ocean, but can the ocean count on us? Today and every day, let put the ocean first. So as ocean scientists, it is our duty not only to do the science, but translate the science to deal with all the ocean challenges. I'm very sure that we are doing for the last many years. We'll continue to do it with more vigor. So that should be our pledge today. Sir, I am very happy that we have the most eminent personalities related to ocean with us. Dr. Harilal Menon, Vice Chancellor of Goa University, and one of the most eminent physical oceanographer in the world, who is dealing with the satellite oceanography. We know him very well. He has been collaborating with us for last 2 decades, and many of our product and services, his signature is there. So I'm very happy that with a short span, within 1 day, he accepted us with keeping aside all his busy schedule. You know that what is the busy of business of the Vice Chancellor. Thank you, sir. Thank you, be here very much. So, and also we have Balakrishna Reddy, who is the former Vice Chancellor of Nalsara University and one of the eminent laws. So we mainly started with ocean technology and science, but when we want to deal with the oceans, the most important thing is the ocean laws, the UNCLOS. And we know that who are leading in the ocean now, the Vidar, who is the IOC Executive Secretary, is the ocean lawyer. So a lot to do with the dealing with the ocean challenges and keeping our ocean good and the best for the next generation. So with our short notice, he's accepted us, our invitation. Thank you, sir. Thank you, be here. We want to hear you from a different perspective of the ocean on the background of the ocean, the law. So we have eminent personalities, because when we want to deal the ocean, it is not we also require the younger generation. We also, our colleague, Dr. Suresh, who is always be with the ocean. We tell him as Ship Suresh. He's there here. So yes. So he know the ocean physically. We are talking with like that. We most of the time he is in the ocean. So his perspective on the ocean, taking the ocean forward, it's very important. Very happy that he agreed to give a talk to us. Well, while coming to this, the next step, as I told, the ocean research or ocean science, what we want is the future of the humanity, the next or the ocean. So the younger generation is very important to that. And as I told, we are actually in the Secretariat for the Ocean Decade Coordination Center. And under that, we have a program for how to encourage early career ocean professionals. And one of our colleague, Dr. Trishnida, is leading it. I'm very happy that she's also there here to tell her perspective how we should actually deal the ocean, the future ocean. So I'm very happy that this becoming a kind of a wide spectrum of people who will discuss and tell us what way we should do research, what way we'll do the science, and how we should take the ocean challenges the forward. I'm very happy our colleagues are there, Dr. Patabi, Sudhir, Satya, Uday Nagaraj, Anish, all my young Rahman. And Rahman also will be dealing you on how the ocean, what is actually the message during the World Ocean Day. So he is also, I think, among us, he is only one scientist who know the ocean laws. He have a diploma in UNCLOS, so from the Nalsar University. So he will also tell his perspective. So also I welcome all of you for this World Ocean Day celebrations, and also all of my younger colleagues, especially the students. So we should think beyond the research topic what you have, connect with what others are doing, what the oceanography is, how the oceanography is deal in the world side, because we want to we are already, but we want to be more and more the world leaders in operational oceanography. So with this, and we have the colleagues from our administration, Nagesh Rao, and other colleagues of the administration. They are with us. One of the good thing about INCOIS is that, sir, the INCOIS, the administrative capability of the INCOIS to take all the big projects. So the once we say this kind of a community, it is not only scientists; it's entire community which deal with the oceans. So I welcome all of you for this World Ocean celebrations. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving a nice presentation about INCOIS activities and as well as how it is in linked to today's ocean things. So other one of the things which is you try to bring is here like the two aspect which is law as well as science, which the two parallel bodies going on. So it's always needed to be on board in both together. And today we are fortunate to have with our chief guest. He will talk about how the law perspective of ocean. And ocean is, as you know, 70% of our earth is ocean. And 90% of world trade happens through this shipping and through this ocean only. So without ocean, we can't even think about any economical development or anything. So just before going to have these today's talks, just I'll talk about the brief about what is the Ocean Day and why we need this Ocean Day. To make awareness of the role of ocean in our everyday life and inspire action to protect the ocean and sustainability, use marine resources every year. June 8 is celebrated as official Ocean Day since 2008, recognized by United Nations General Assembly. However, before 2008, many countries celebrated this special day following the UN Conference on Environment and Development held at Rio de Janeiro in 1992. Officially, every year, Division of Ocean Affairs and Law of the Sea of the United Nations coordinate this World Ocean Day. World Ocean Day is observed by all the UN states throughout the world. Since the creation of World Ocean Day, there has been a new theme every year that shapes the annual events and aims to raise awareness to the danger of our ocean faces every year. This year's theme is very interesting, as our directors have already briefed about this, is wonder, sustaining what sustains. The ocean wonder is what draws us in and drives our desire to protect it. Wonder is the foundation of scientific knowledge, the allure behind explorations, the curiosity that drives innovations, and the seed of traditional wisdom. In the face of increasingly challenges, the act of wondering serves to remind us that we are part of something bigger. It wakes up to our inner connections to the earth and to each other, expands our understanding of what is possible, empower innovations, and prioritize decision making for, for collective well-beings. The World Ocean Day, we celebrate the ocean's essential wonder from all the wonders it consists of to the wonder it ignites. Because just as the ocean sustains the planet, wonder sustains our humanity, and while the ocean is the livelihood of the earth, and wonder is a beating heart that will save it. Wonder is the foundation of scientific knowledge, exploration, and innovation. In a nutshell, the ocean sustains us, then what we must sustain it in return. At the stage of almost reaching the triple point of sustain and leave the ocean as we live today for the future generations, it is our moral responsibility to spread this theme to the general public as much as possible. In this endeavor, United Nations now today onwards it's already started. There's a event conference is going on in France, Nice about this. These two events is coinciding this very unique one this time, the World Ocean Day as well as this meeting. So with this brief about these oceans, what is the ocean and Ocean Day and why you celebrate. So I would like to go for the our today's next agenda, the talks. So as you may know, our colleague, Dr. Sir already told, Mr. Suresh Kumar, he went to Antarctica. Probably INCOIS, he was the first in last winter. So I just requested to give his experience about what is Antarctica and how it's. So he will brief us about just his 10 minutes presentation, how it looks on Antarctica. Please welcome Mr. Suresh Kumar.
So, dear Excellencies, distinguished delegates, and ladies and gentlemen, and my lovable colleagues and students and researchers, it was my great pleasure to extend to all of you to welcome and on behalf of INCOIS, the auspicious day today, Ocean Day celebrations. And we are so honored by your presence, and we move ahead for the meaningful discussions here. So welcome all of you, sir. So my name is Suresh. I have many version of names. So in the past, they say ship name, but recent my expedition, I got one more name, Big Man, from the Russian lady. Okay, so my Southern Lights. So this is the first things I saw when I went Antarctic. So recently I went Antarctic. So how was the journey and what we did and what INCOIS contribution and what are the challenges we faced and how we accomplished the missions. So, and it's kind of emotional and interesting and expeditions, many things in it. So the one image is called Aurora, which happens in the poles, southern poles and north poles. And objective of this my expeditions to conduct a scientific, sorry sir? Yeah, from the ship, yeah. That is a ship, one of the part. Yeah, there are some couple of pictures and videos. So objective of this, to conduct scientific expedition for the oceanographic data collections. And the route we started from South Africa, Cape Town to Antarctic, because NCPR every year they used to go cargo ships to supply the containers and provisions to Antarctic Obviously, in Antarctic, we have two stations, totally three. The first one is decommissioned. Second is, and first live is Maitri, which is established in 1988 and commissioned in 1990. The second one is Bharati Research Station. It's in one of the part of the Antarctica, just below the same longitude of India. That is commissioned in 2012. So this journey, we started from Cape Town and went to first Bharati, then then back to Maitri. So the main this cargo ship transit. So the ship carries a lot of containers, and the containers have the provisions like the people who are living. So they are sending all the equipments, scientific equipments, and food and other stuff all. Uh, Once go, it's once in a year, and rest of the journey, they have to do rationings and work, live for 1 year, 2 years. So we use the opportunity in the cargo ship. This ship is not a research ship. This is a cargo, but still there are challenges involved. But we successfully did it. And so my objective is deployment of autonomous gliders, which can work in the ocean for many days. So prior to Antarctic, there is a procedure we have to get mentally and physically strong and be ready for that. So preparation of the expedition, there are selective teams. By the proposal, they will take you to, the NCPR is hosting the all expeditions and expenses. So they will take you to Oli, Uttarakhand. There is a mountaineering training, rapplings. So they will check your physical and mental power, willpower. So you have to go up to higher altitudes to acclimatize the cold weather conditions. If you're not going this, and suddenly if you go to Antarctica, based on the body conditions, people have various problems. So we have to do this 12 days training in Oli. There's a special training camp. And we all did successfully. It's batch by batch. I am a fifth batch. There are many batches in a year. And our body should acclimatize with the environmental conditions. Then our voyage begins. After many days, 3 months later, in December, we started. These are the teams, Russia and South Africans, and the blue, all you see, all are Indians. And this is onboard ship. And while on track to the Antarctic, we have a lot of observations. So I'm part of others and helping others. So there is a friendly environment happens during the voyage, and we celebrated the Republic Day, and we set up the autonomous weather stations on the image. And there are some students, some researchers came from universities. They collected water samples, biology, how marine biological things happenings in the water they collected. And our main scientific missions, it's a collaborative work, NCPR, Goa, and INCOIS. So we together want to do some glider observation, first of its kind. Because the Southern Ocean, it's and near Antarctic Circle, it's quite challenges. There are various names the people call in the locations. For example, if you go 40 south degree latitude, they call it Roaring 40. I don't know why they call it Roaring 40. And Furious 50, there's a 50 degree latitude called Furious 50. Then when I hear the first time, what? I know only Fast and Furious 10. What is that Furious 50? So while going, I didn't face any experience bad weather, but while coming, I really realized that that is really hard seas. The wave height is 10 meters, and ship is rolling like a banging and thing. And another latitude cross 60 south, they called Screaming 60. So I asked my chief scientist like whether I'm going to scream in the same 60 degree. They said, no, these are the names, the ancients who came, the Antarctic expedition, they did the names. So it's really challenges from this kind of typical environment, deploying this kind of gadgets. The one on the image, it's a glider. It is 8 feet long and weight about 70 kilo. And you know, the orange does, it's me. So I look like a buffoon. I'm fully covered because the water is -2 cold temperatures, and you have to be fully covered. But you know, with the dress, it's very tough to deploy and recover. So I said, I don't want the dress. I want my normal dress. They're not allowed. So we did a lot of practice because if I jump in the water by mistake, I'll get out. I mean, to the hypothermia, your body will be freezed, heart will stop. We don't know what the bad phenomena. So we should be very, very careful from the big ship to the small boat transit. We should be very careful. The people on the small boat, it's fully covered to save the hypothermia. And the other pictures we deployed, and some documentary purpose we took images. And these are the glider observations we did during the expeditions. We deployed at certain locations at 63 South and 24 East, and the gliders near a version called Slocum G3 model. So we have a 10 fleets in INCOIS, and one of the fleet we deployed it. And this instrument has temperature, salinity, basically CTD, and FLBB, and DO, and power. And it can go up to 1,000 meters, and during a dive, up and down, we can do samplings. On the image, you see that there's a track we deployed here, and we head north, then we head, and the problem is, the challenging is there are a lot of icebergs. So these gliders have a inbuilt ice algorithms. If there is ice in the surface, the glider will skip, it won't dive, I mean, it won't come surface, it will dive immediately and come to the next location. So we have the facilities, so we make use of it. And there is a plot from the during, and it travels from the last 2 months, 1,300 kilometers. And the reason is, these are the locations where science community doesn't have much sampling, because that's a very, very hard seas. If you take a ship, go to do CTD, conventional method, it's easy in the Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea, but if you go in the Southern Ocean, it's always challenging, because getting ship time is tough, and getting manpower is tough, and the weather won't permit it, because there is a back-to-back low pressures, and if you go summer, winter, season will change, but many low pressures started. And but we choose the particular fine day. There is a breaking window. So with the help of master, the captain, the Russian 40 years experienced captain, he fine-tuned the particular window. He saw the forecast model, so he advised us, do this day. So we had a good muhurtam to deploy the glider and recover the glider. And of course, the Southern Light experience. So, you know, South Poles, North Poles, mentally, you can see a lot of Southern Lights. The story is, what is this called aurora, because the solar flash, or sun flash from the suns forward to the solar wind. The solar wind, due to the Earth magnetic field, the north and south poles, it enters the north and southern poles, and there is a protons, electrons in the solar wind. It directly do the excitations, high level state and low level state. And what happened, there is atmospheric and ionosphere. It mingle and does a lot of molecular excitation. Then if it is a presence of oxygen and nitrogen. If oxygen, it produces two colors, green and blue, green and red. And if it's a nitrogen, it produces purple and blue. So these are four colors, and this is called, if it happens in Southern Ocean, this is called aurora australis, sorry. So we can see plenty, but the thing is, you should be in the good window, dark. Because Southern Ocean, Antarctic, some of the days if you go summer, it's full sun, so sun never set down. But if you go the winter season, you can't see the sun. So now it's like night, all the way 24 hours, it's a night, the present time. And Bharati station have 5 hours UTC. Maitri station have 0 UTC, like same follow the GMT time. So we went on the lucky day. So these are the pictures I took in Maitri stations, and night 12 o'clock, 12 to 2 o'clock. This is really beautiful. You know, it's like a pleasant and divine, and I'm part of there, and I'm so happy and excited. There are 1,000 words to say, but it's really amazing. And there are some videos I'll show you quickly. So excuse me. So these are the special cameras. We did it. This is a time-lapse camera. So you can see there is a camera, and the moon is moving. The star constellation is moving. Actually, thing is, the Earth is moving. Okay. So by time-lapse, we can see the solar flash, the aurora australis. This is really light. So these are really beautiful. Okay, and some couple of images I'll show you quickly, so that it'll be interesting for you people. You see, the moon is moving, but actually Earth is moving and moon is moving, and you see the stars flash. This is a special camera, Insta360 in time-lapse mode, and there are aurora's movement. So these are the beautiful things we can see in Antarctic. And you see the galaxy also. So this is near to the Maitri station. This is really beautiful. Okay, so, and I'm going for my main mission. Okay, so the main thing is like we deployed as well as recovered the glider, and the challenges, yes, yeah. So this is harsh weather, high seas, and communication problems, and glider deployment in some of the hard seas really challenging us. Uh, so and in addition to that, there will be extreme cold, so you can't come easily without any polar clothings. You need a 4 or 5 layers. If you come with a bear, you'll get freeze, and there will be a lot of various other problems. And moreover, there will be a static energy discharge. So, you know, basically say you be a positive, but if you go Antarctica, everybody will be a positive because more positive ions charge in our body. If you touch somebody, discharge. Everybody will get shock. So you have to stay away from that. More clothing if you put, you will get a static energy discharge. And if you take a dose, bedroom, bathroom, wherever you go, you will get a shock. And people in Antarctic, they're used to it. There are some Chinese devices available, static discharge. If there is a keychain, if you put, you can discharge it, then you can start again. So these are the challenges involved. And some quick video I'll just show again. The deployment and recovery of the glider. Okay, and so this is the glider. So we are doing deployment, and we used a ship crane and small boat service. And this is auto release. So once it goes down, it will automatically release. Then it sets free, and we just stay back, stay away. But during deployment, again, there is a challenges. We had birds, squaw and albatross, special birds. It's a 1 meter swing. Then there are a lot of whales, and the world killer whales is orca. So they are nearby whales, but we take everything as a challenge accepted, and we got blessed. So like that, we think and we keep move work on it. And other quickly recovery video, I'll just show last one. So this is recovery, and during this time, there is a captain not allowed the boat launch, so we have to require to special techniques with the help of Russians on board. So again, it's a wonderful coordination between INCOIS, NCPR, and Russians team on board. And the weather is extremely bad, sustained of 25 to 35 knots wind speed, and the swell is 4 to 5 meters. But in the camera angle, you can't see much. It says sea is calm, but it's really challenges. But this captain drive head to head, right ahead to the ship, and ship is passing through the glider, and it's slowly coming side of the ship. It's about 5 to 6 meters. At the edge, people are standing by waiting to catch a glider, like pick the ball from the water. So I can go a little forward, right? So you see that nut, people are standby. It's 25 meter, 35 meters widespread, and 10 meter LB. So we just drop the net. Some BGC people knows about BGC zooplanktons. So this kind of, we pick the glider from the water. But this is also first attempt, very first attempt, first approach, we got it, and the edge. And I'm so excited because this is really what, and ocean data. So once we missed it, it's really a problem. And we picked up, there we go. So again, so INCOIS successfully did missions in hard challenges. So this built our confidence and my juniors and incoming futures. Sorry, sir? No, sir. So that's a flexibility in the wire basket net. So actually, I'm so excited, I'm moving to down. So it's not damages. It's a flexible. So that's all about my things. The journey to Antarctica is really amazing. And so hardly all 15 days in the stations, most of the days in the ship. So altogether, nearly 5 months completed. It's a long journey. And so important thing is we should be physically and mentally prepared and go for it. And of course, you should show a willpower. And I really thanks to Ministry of Earth Science and INCOIS, NCPR, and all bodies who support my travel. And and it is our team success and INCOIS success. We first time of kind we deployed this ocean platform in the Southern Ocean Antarctica Circle, and now onwards we can do much more things in the futures. In addition, we deployed a wave drifters for a wave modeling that will be more helpful. So we deployed 3 wave drifters, so that all data analysis is going on. In coming years, this data will be come up with good results, and much more we can contribute to the oceans. As a Ocean Day, it's INCOIS also Indian National Oceans Information Service. So this is really a good and in fact, we achieved many things in the past. And thanks to directors and thanks to all the people and my colleagues who support us. Thank you.
Hey. पेज नहीं चाहिए, क्लोज करना है। हाँ, इसको दिखना नहीं चाहिए। हाँ, नहीं दिख रहा। Okay. Thank you, Suresh. It was a unique experience. We saw what you saw in shape through your view. It was a really nice, particularly the aura picture is really amazing. So moving forward, we go for the next talk. I invite early career professional, Dr. Trishnita Bhattacharya, Senior Research Fellow in INCOIS. She is the, as Director sir already informed, that we are the, you know, sir, the decade oceans is going on 2021 to 2030, even decade ocean. We are, INCOIS is the regional coordinator center here. So we are doing many activities, and one of the thing is like the early career scientist. So ECOP is she is the nodal and coordinator. ECOP is one of the program under the UN Ocean Decade. This program tries to bring together the network of early career professionals to work towards the common goal of sustained ocean development. She will be talking on the ECOP initiative, connecting, learning, and leading in ocean science. I welcome Dr. Trishnita for his talk.
Thank you, sir. A very good morning to everyone. Today is the celebration for the World Ocean Day. The last week has been extremely important for ocean professionals all over the world. And this is our way to honor our commitment to a sustainable ocean development. And the Early Career Ocean Professionals team, in association with the DCC IOR, had conducted 2 major events at INCOIS. I'm here today to talk about those events. ECOPs are self-identified ocean enthusiasts who have had 10 years or less of professional experience, and they come from a diverse range of backgrounds, and their main aim is to bring ocean science to the masses. They also try to contribute towards the sustainable development goals through sustained cumulative actions. The ECOP program was endorsed in 2021, but the national node India was formed only by the end of 2024. So the first ECOP event in India was organized in 2023. Again, INCOIS was the host to that event. During the 2023 OSCON, we had a parallel session where ECOPs presented their work. At that time, we did not have a national node. But after 2024, the first ECOP event that was organized under the India node was again hosted by INCOIS. I'm thankful that INCOIS has been extremely instrumental in the support that it has given to ECOP activities and all the ECOP professionals. The main aims of ECOP, as I previously said, are mainly twofold. The first, we try to bring together people from diverse backgrounds, and we want to get to know what their expertise is. So getting to know what their expertise is, we want to help them grow by making more and more professional opportunities available, maybe also help them to get fundings, etc. And secondly, after we get to know their expertise, we try to bring with the help of their expertise, ocean and climate science, to the masses. Now, the first ECOP activity, as I said, that was organized on 5th and 2nd of June at INCOIS was a workshop. What did we do in the workshop? So we had a total of 8 speakers, and they delivered talks on how their own personal research, their own scientific research, aligns and helps to contribute to some of the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals of the Ocean Decade. We also had participants from all over India. We tried to cover the entire length and the breadth of of India so that we can get as much as possible regional representation. We had almost 40 participants. So the number of applicants that we had received for this 450. Out of those 450 abstracts, we were able to choose 40 people who were finally selected to be a part of this workshop. The topic on which they had submitted their abstracts was contributing to a sustainable ocean, the role of ECOPs in the the students or the participants were segregated so that some of them presented oral talks and some of them presented flash talks. There were also prizes, so the judges who were present during the workshop, they judged the presentations, and we were able to distribute first, second, and third prizes in both these categories, oral as well as flash talks. And the highlight of this workshop was a panel discussion. We had panelists both in online mode and also in physically some of the people were present. The panelists for this panel discussion were ECOP core committee members, ECOP advisory committee members, and through the panel discussion, we were able to highlight three major outcomes we got, three concrete, tangible outcomes we got. The first is what we found is we do not have a unified platform where all job notifications related to ocean science in India could be brought together. We don't have. So the example that we were falling back on was med jobs. Anyone who is an early career ocean professional who wants to take up postdoc, med jobs or climber lists, these are extremely important mailing lists where we fall back on. So falling back on that reference, we were hoping that people who do not have the information at their fingertips in India, where to get the notifications of jobs, both temporary positions and permanent positions. In India, we were looking to make a mailing list so that the ocean professionals can benefit from that mailing list. The idea was either we collaborate with an existing mailing list or we make a completely different, from scratch, a mailing list from ECOP itself. So this was one of the major points that was discussed. The second thing that we were discussing is, in order to bring to the forefront climate and ocean science, why not have animated documentaries from published scientific booklets? So this was able to show us a few booklets, for example, Story of Ocean and NCPOR, NGRI, and such institutes. On a regular basis, they take out booklets which are very scientific. They tell to the people science, but in a much more easy way to read. Now bringing this, so this could already be a foundation for a script. If the ECOPs are able to animate this, make it into a cartoon or a comic form, then this could be, and put it out in our YouTube channel, which is free to access, then it could be used for children and even others who are not children, even for parents. It could be a very good alternative to TV watching, which is not always probably the best entertainment to be consumed. So this way we could bring climate science to the general masses, and also it could be an interesting activity, an avenue for ECOPs to showcase their creativity. And lastly, on the second topic, when we were discussing how to bring climate science to the forefront, one very important point came from among the participants itself, that these are all ways where we are the ones trying to reach out to the public. What if we have another passive way where the public consumes our content without them having to search for us? So so one of the most innovative ideas that we came across through the panel discussion was that, what if we have these comic flyers? So one flyer sort of a comic, and we print these out on either tote bags, which can be distributed during conferences, or another aspect would be the paper placemats, which could be again distributed at hotels or whatever. The advantage of this would be twofold. One is, whichever institute is funding this, we could have an advertisement for that, for those institutes. And the second advantage would be, again, people would not be consuming mindless ideas. They would be, again, brought to consume science in a very easy, palatable form. So these were the most important outcomes from the panel discussion that we had. And the second event that that ECOP hosted in association with the DCC IOR was an essay competition. So the topic for the essay competition was power of collective community action for effective ocean-based solution to combat climate change. We had opened this essay competition. We had given the participants a 20 or 25-day window. The competition was open to ECOPs all over India and also to ECOPs in abroad, as long as they are Indian nationals. The current affiliation of these students do not matter, their nationality matters. So Indian ECOPs all over the world, in fact, were allowed to participate. The topic, as I mentioned, was this. We got a very good amount of applications, and now we have the results ready. I will be announcing the results. We had cash prizes for this competition. This competition was judged by 5 members, 4 from ECOP committee and 1 from INCOIS. Incidentally, the 4 ECOP committee members were all women. This is coincidentally. And from INCOIS, we had a judge, Dr. Nidish. He is a man, yeah. So we tried to have diversity even in the panel of judges. From ECOP, the 4 judges that we had is Sunanda and I, and Dr. Sunanda and me. We are the 2 coordinators of the current ECOP team. 2 other core members who judged this competition were Dr. Femi Anna Thomas and Dr. Avanti Acharya. And finally, I want to now announce the winners of this essay competition. The 3rd prize goes to Sanvi Chaudhary. The 2nd prize goes to Shubha Nandula. And the 1st prize goes to Chaitali C. Tali. So there are cash prizes for these winners. The 1st prize is a cash prize for 10,000 rupees. The 2nd prize is a cash prize of 5,000 rupees, and the 3rd prize is a cash prize of 1,000 rupees. They will be contacted. We will also be putting out flyers informing the winners of them winning the prizes. So anyone who is interested, if any of the winners are your friends, do congratulate them, but also please keep an eye on our social media platform, R as in ECOP India's social media platform, and also INCOIS's social media platform. Wrapping up, I only have 2 more slides. The ECOP Asia has only 9 national nodes as of 2024 to 2025. I think in the beginning of 2025, a few more national nodes in Asia were formalized. But again, that is to say, considering the huge landmass that Asia is, we have very little number of national nodes. It took 5 years for the Indian national node to start. We started work in 2021, and only by 2024 end, we were able to formalize this node. We are always looking for people who want to continue and contribute to our work, or who want to network and maybe use this platform for their own benefit professionally. So we urge everyone who wants to be a part of us, please contact us. The current ECOP team, as I said, there are 2 coordinators, there are a few core committee members, and there are senior members who are advisory committee members. If anyone wants to know about the structure of ECOP or wants to contact, please go to our webpage. You can contact any one of us. We are a very well-connected group, so if you connect any one of us, they will help you connect with the others according to whatever need you have. Finally, if you want to connect, these are the forms, these are the ways. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Trishnita, for your initiative, and really it's really good that all young generations, they're coming forward, and that is the need of for this sustain of our oceans. So coming next, we are going for the next presentations. I think, sir, you. Okay. Before just copying, I'll just briefly introduce Professor Menon. Uh, First of all, sir, thank you so much for coming all the way early morning flights. He came very early morning flights, 4 o'clock. He woke up and catch 6 o'clock flight, and now giving a talk. It's really, sir, we are really thankful to you for your this invitation. It's my immense pleasure to welcome Professor Harilal Menon to INCOIS. Professor Menon currently is a Vice Chancellor. Currently is a Vice Chancellor of Goa University since 2021. Before assuming the charge of Vice Chancellor in 2021, he was a Senior Professor of Marine Sciences at the School of Earth, Ocean and Atmospheric Sciences, Goa University. Professor Menon did his PhD at Cochin University of Science and Technology, and his primary research interest lies in the field of marine optics, ocean color, remote sensing, aerosol, radiation forcing, and estuary and coastal dynamics. Professor Menon has significantly contributed to the India's dedicated ocean color satellite missions such as IRS-P4, OCM, PSLV C14, OceanSat-2, and EOS-6 OCM-3 in terms of satellite band selections and biooptical algorithm. He has several R&D projects on the development of biooptical algorithms, aerosols, radiative forcing, and its characterizations. Dynamics of Mandobi-Zuari estuary system, atmospheric corrections to retrieve K2 water constituents, etc. His research has published in more than 100 national and international journals of repute and has guided several PhD scholars, including today present Dr. Anis, who is now heading our observational team. He is a student. So today, Professor Menon will be giving a special talk on from coastline to partnering for resilience in an ocean warming scenario. May I now invite him to deliver his talk.
Don't want to paste. Thank you, Dr. Heman, for that nice introduction. Dr. Nair, Director of INCOIS, Professor Reddy, Chairperson, Telangana State Higher Education Council, my esteemed scientists from this esteemed institution, INCOIS, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, it's my honor and privilege to be here on the occasion of World Ocean Day, especially standing in front of you in this institution, and for which I'm thankful to, your director. When he invited last week, when he invited me, I said, is it that you are requesting for an online presentation? He said, no, you have to come here and present physically, and then across the table you have to, discuss. So then I readily agreed. And therefore I thought the right title for today's discussion is From Coastline to Community, Partnering for Resilience in an Ocean Warming Scenario. Now, as you know, in fact, the director was mentioning about this year's theme, that is wonder sustaining what sustains us. That means we have to sustain what is in turn is sustaining us. That's the ocean. If you look at some of the, the major aspects that helps humankind to flourish on this earth is that first is climate regulation. In fact, you know that 70% of the earth is covered by water. And then we all know that there are two main, the current system. One is wind-driven circulation, wherein warm water body is being taken from the equatorial region and it goes, for example, if you take the case of Pacific Ocean, we have the north equatorial current and then Kuroshio current and then the subtropical gyre. So there is a communication between the high latitude and the low latitude. And added to that is the density-driven circulation, that is nothing but the thermohaline circulation. We know that, in fact, I'm very happy that Mr. Suresh has mentioned something about the Antarctic and then his, the expedition, etc. So such an extreme climate is prevailing there in the Antarctic region, and that is making the surface water to dense, and then it goes down. When it goes down, there are two things happening. One is, of course, the optimum temperature of the globe. Another important thing is that it carries oxygen from the atmosphere and supplies to all the organisms in the world ocean. Because you know that when the temperature decreases, dissolution of gas increases. So therefore, it's around 8.5 milliliter per liter of oxygen is dissolved in the water, and that sinks, and then that supplies everywhere in the world ocean. And that is about the climate regulation. And then if you see the transportation, about 76% of the business, the trade is happening through this ocean. And that amounts to an economy of around $282 billion. This is in terms of US alone. And then you know that many Indian states are in this recreation aspect and then as a part of the tourism. And then the food. Food, it's not fish, but you can say that such as surprising food such as peanut butter and soya milk, etc. And then of course finally the medicine. So therefore, the action to be taken are, another important aspect is 80% of Earth's biodiversity is in the ocean. Therefore, call for action are, as he rightly mentioned initially, that 2021 to 2030, that is a decade of UN decade of ocean science, promotes science-driven solutions for sustainable oceans. And then you know that UN SDG, Sustainable Development Goal 14, that is life below water. And then Paris Agreement on blue carbon strategies that recognizes the role of blue carbon ecosystem. Now what is being shown on the right-hand side is how much energy is being stored by various components of the Earth system. In fact, if you look at the Earth system, there are different components like a lithosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere, atmosphere, and then added to that is a cryosphere. So when the solar radiation, the solar radiation or the sun is the basic source of energy, and when that interacts with the Earth, you can see that the ocean, receives almost 89% of the energy that is storing that. And 1930 to 2010, you see that the energy storage of energy is increasing almost exponentially as far as the ocean is concerned. If I explain in a very detailed way, you can say that 4% of energy is stored in the cryosphere, and then land is just 5%, atmosphere is 2%, ocean is around 89%. And then, so therefore ocean is the heat sink. But what is happening on the other side is that you just see the carbon dioxide anomaly. In fact, if you see from 1830 to 1930 also, you can say that our globe was almost cold climate was prevailing. But beyond that, especially when the industrial regulation started, it looks like the people of then did not have the concept of carbon dioxide sequestration or anything of that sort. Therefore, carbon dioxide started adding to the atmosphere, and that has resulted in the global climate change. So this is the energy or Earth energy imbalance. Now, due to this, what happens? As I said earlier about thermohaline circulation, take place, you have to have a perfect equilibrium between the tropical region and that of the high latitude region. But then here what happens is that as a result of the global climate change, which I said about, previous slide I shown about the carbon dioxide. In fact, it's not only carbon dioxide, but also there are many other components that also add, or increase the temperature. So due to that, if the study shows that almost 12%, the thermohaline circulation has been slowed down almost by 12%, which means that thermohaline circulation, I would use that as a respiratory system of the world ocean, because it carries oxygen and sinks along with that. And then surface, you have the wind-driven circulation. So that is being slowed down. And another important aspect is that when, as a result of the global warming, when the ice melts, you have less dense water come to the surface. So that means stratification. When the stratification occurs, some of you at least know about Antarctic polar front and then Antarctic intermediate water, etc. So there is something called North Atlantic deep water. That deep water diverges between 60 and 62 degrees south. And then what happens is that as a result of the stratification, this is being hindered. There is a high stratification. So the energy with which the subsurface water, in fact, subsurface water is nutrient rich in nature. And that nutrient rich water has to come to the surface again to see that the water is productive in nature. So that's all hampered as a result of this. So therefore weakening of North Atlantic or the thermohaline circulation results in fact, what is shown here is, you can see on the left-hand side, is before the layer of 2000, before 2000, and then after 2000. How much is the sea level variation? And, it also says that what is the abyssal layer and what is the layer above that. So therefore, response of the world ocean, if you see, as I said, stratification and reduced vertical mixing, because vertical mixing is an important component as far as the productivity is concerned, because you have learned about upwelling. So upwelling is nothing but the movement of subsurface water, subsurface nutrient-rich water. Why it is nutrient-rich? Because that is the thermocline region. So thermocline region is again a halocline region. That means it's a highly stratified water, so that from there, therefore the way in which, or the rate at which nutrient sinks is, almost thousands of years it takes. Therefore, the subsurface water is always rich in nutrients, and that water is being brought to the surface by upwelling. And if this happens, like densification or the stratification comes, then what happens that is being hindered. The upwelling is being hindered. And same way, altered ocean currents. If this goes like this, as I said earlier, we have subtropical gyres and boundary currents. That will be further shifted, which means that the tropical climate could be even felt in the the subtropical region or even in the high latitude region. And changes in precipitation and monsoon system. When you have, that as a result of evaporation, what is being removed from the ocean is the fresh water. So when you have more and more water added to that, it's easy in the sense that more evaporation and more precipitation, that means more flooding, low-lying areas, etc. That's what changes in precipitation and monsoon system, and then intensification of tropical cyclone. Time immemorial, we know that Bay of Bengal is warm. It's a warm water body. But then now we realize that Arabian is also warming. In fact, we have already experienced number of cyclones, tropical cyclones in Arabian Sea. And then atmospheric circulation shifts. We have Hartley cell, Ferrel cell, and polar cell. And wind-driven circulation is basically due to the wind associated with this. Therefore, that also being disturbed. And then marine heat waves, that is affecting coral bleaching, fish migration, and biodiversity loss. And this is immediate response. Suppose, let's say that it sustains for a long time. Then what happens? We have the melting of ice caps, enhanced warming of Arabian Sea, then cloudbursts and instant flooding across the Indian subcontinent and elsewhere. Cloudburst is what? The clouds are basically when you have more nucleus. When you have more cloud condensation nuclei, you find that, and again, when you look at the nucleus, there are two types of nucleus. One is that hygroscopic in nature, in the sense that it's attracting, in the sense that water attracting nucleus. Another is hydrophobic. Hydrophobia means what? Water repelling. So even if you have in a unit like 1 meter cube of air mass, if you have enough particles, 100% a particle, let's say that, but still cloud won't form because it's a hydrophobic nucleus. But if you have a hydroscopic, and again let me tell you that there are cases where hydrophobic nuclei becomes hydroscopic because of the fact that it resides in the atmosphere for a long time, and then it coats the outer surface by humidity or the water vapor. Therefore, it camouflages itself and it acts like a cloud condensation nuclei. So that again, what happened that then fuses the cloud, means cloud bursts and cloud losses, etc. So that's what is meant by cloud bursts and instant flooding across Indian subcontinent. And cyclones in Arabian Sea and coastal waters of the eastern Arabian Sea. And of course, vagaries of monsoon. We know that this year, Goa normally receives monsoon by 7th of June, but we received by 22nd of June, 22nd of May this year. That means almost 12 to 13 days before we started. So this is the way in which the monsoon vagaries are going on. And therefore, now let me, because some students are here, let me just explain some of the little science about the thermodynamics of low-level atmosphere. And for that, what the picture I have brought is between 30 degrees south to 70 degree, that Southern Ocean region, where if you see, we have something like a marine atmospheric boundary layer. I hope you all know about that. This is actually like a lid. Whatever activities are going on the surface, like ocean or the land, that's being prevented by this. But when you go towards the polar region, the marine atmospheric boundary layer, the height of that decreases. So if you see here, for example, if you see here, I don't have a, the pointer here. If you see here, around 40 degree, the around 40 degree, if you see here, it's around 2.5 kilometers. But if you go towards the southern region, it shallow down. And you see here near the 70 degree, it's around 1 kilometer, which means that due to anthropogenic activities, if so much particles are added to the atmosphere, if that is being taken all the way to the Southern Ocean region, that is being trapped there. And again, something which is very, very serious is that black carbon aerosol, which are as a result of or soot particles due to the biomass burning. If that keeps on adding over there and that is being held by this, then that itself heats the atmosphere. That is what is shown here. What happened here, low clouds, all those kind of thing. And you can see here, you have marine aerosol, you have elevated smoke aerosol, dust mixed without aerosol, polluted dust aerosol, etc. So all these particles are there in thousands of kilometers from here. So, and in addition to that, if let's say, assume that atmospheric turbidity increases due to our own activity, you know what happens in Rajasthan and those regions where you have the dust storms. So in the event of these particles added to atmosphere, and if there is a thick layer, it affects the PAR, photosynthetically available radiation. Because you can see here, this is what is computed by, published in one of the, the journals, where you can see what is shown here is different sun zenith angle. If you have varying sun zenith angle with a certain turbidity of the atmosphere, you would find that you can see here, the PAR has been reduced from 400 watts per meter squared to 100 watts per meter squared. So PAR is something, what is PAR? PAR is the energy that is required for the phytoplankton for photosynthesis and for the productivity. So that's being reduced. And here is the different physical drivers of the climate change, and in that something which is very specific is black carbon. So this black carbon, it heats the atmosphere, and also it acts like, if at all it is coated with the water at the outside, it acts like a cloud condensation nuclei, but then it will not be there for a long time. Rather, once the cloud is formed, you have the radiation coming from the top, and that slowly enter inside, and then slowly remove this coating, and then it starts heating, and then the cloud diffuses. So that also happens as a result of this atmospheric turbidity. And then that's about the atmosphere. But about the coastal water or any other coastal region, if you see, the radiant heating rate is another important aspect for cyclonic formation. For example, if you see here, there are 3 different substances. Chlorophyll itself. Those who are doing research on chlorophyll, you know that the chlorophyll absorbs at 2 different peaks, are one at 443 nm and another is at 670 nm, right? 670 nm. But if you look at the absorption spectra of CDOM and the TSM, you would see that it's shorter wave radiations. That means high energy radiations are being absorbed. So if the concentration of those increases here, you see what is shown here is that the 10 meters of euphotic zone, and here 70 meters of the euphotic zone. So that means almost integral heating of euphotic water column per day is around 0.225 plus or minus 0.118. And what is shown here, this is near the coast, this is away from, when you go towards the offshore region, this is the way in which it changes. So which means that along with the atmosphere, if you have atmospheric particles, embed the atmospheric condition, same way is the coastal water. When you have, especially in the western coast, if you see there are a number of rivers discharging, and through that, if you have carbon compound, discharged to the coastal water, and that disintegrates, oxidation takes place, oxygen is depleted. That means from the surface oxygen is depleted, and thermohaline circulation, as I said earlier, subsurface also oxygen is depleted. So this is the kind of condition prevailing, can be expected in the event of the extreme climatic conditions. And then another very serious matter is the microplastics pollution and ocean health. Okay, here you can see that 2.5 billion of metric tons of solid waste is produced all around the world. Out of that, what is finally going to the ocean is around 8 million metric tons of plastic goes into the ocean. And what is shown here is that, by 2100, this is the projection, almost 520 number of microplastics per cubic meter would be added to, unless and until you take care of that. So this is another important. That means you have atmosphere, you have the carbon coming to the coastal waters, and then you have this microplastics, the pollution. And therefore, what are the key impacts of this? Already, it's all visible. Key impacts are low fish catch along the west coast of India, as per the CMFRI report, that is 2019 report, and then biodiversity loss. In fact, you can see that how the coral is bleaching. And then you see on the bottom left side, you see small cities are most vulnerable to sea level rise in India. In fact, that includes Vaishak also. Vaishak, Chennai, Mangalore, Mumbai, Tuticorin, Paradeep, and Oka, Maragua, Cochin, likewise it is there. And then the cyclones. So cyclones are, the frequent phenomena as far as the Arabian Sea is concerned now, unlike in the past. If you see, barring the last 1 decade, if you see before that, there was no cyclone in the Arabian Sea. But then during the last 1 decade, you can see that there were a number of frequency of cyclones in Arabian Sea was very high. And in addition, you have vulnerable coastal line. You see, Indian perspective, if you see that about 15 to 20% of India's population live in coastal districts. Like, their daily routines are ports and shipping. 95% of India's trade is by volume. And then fishing, 4 million people of India. In fact, INCOIS is doing a very good job. I would say that, it's like there is an Indian adage like Mada, Pida, Guru, Devam. So the fishery folk will say that Mada, Pida, Guru and INCOIS before Devam. Because that is the kind of activity INCOIS is doing. And I'm extremely happy that things are happening this way. And, he and then my own student, Dr. Anish, of course, he's not here. He's a little shy to sit in front of me. And then industry, refineries, petrochemicals, nuclear power, socio-economic zones, and then agriculture. For example, coastal deltas support rice and aquaculture. Vulnerables include sea level rise, cyclone, erosion, storm surges, and mining, destruction of mangroves, and salt intrusion. In fact, regions, if you see Sundarban, major vulnerabilities are cyclone, saltwater intrusion. Odisha, if you see, major vulnerabilities are cyclones, flooding, and erosion. Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, if you see, urban flooding and storm surge. Maharashtra, sea level rise and coastal flooding. Kerala, if you see, erosion and tidal flooding. And Lakshadweep, coral bleaching, sea level rise threat. Andaman and Nicobar is tsunami and sea level rise. So these are glaring examples. And if you see the shoreline changes, this I am indebted to Ministry of Earth Sciences, they have sent it to me. Like West Coast, in fact, you can see that East Coast is more vulnerable to West Coast. What is mentioned here is that how much volume is eroded, how much distance is eroded, how much is stable, and how much is accreted. Like in Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, West Bengal, and Puducherry, and then Gujarat, Maharashtra, West Coast, all this. Because time is not there, I'll go a little fast. And then by taking this into care, Government of India, since its independence, started working in this ocean-related, the research. First NIO, and now we have in INCOIS, Indian National Center for Ocean Service, NCCR, NIOT, and then NCPR. Then you have, NCES at Trivandrum, and then you have NIO. So all these institutions are, and then of course the IITM in Pune. All these institutions are taking care of the aspect of research, but then it has to go to the grassroots level. How to do that? And if I am just projecting what INCOIS is doing, because I said that Mada Pida Guru Devam, but this is the reason why I said that. Ocean observation and monitoring, like satellite data reception and HF radars, buoys, tide gauges, Argo floats, and ocean forecast and early warning services. This is very, very important for these population, millions of population who are depending on the sea for their livelihood. And then climate services, climate adaptation and policy making, Indian Ocean warming, and then monsoon variability, marine ecosystem support, like marine spatial planning, sustainable fisheries, ecosystem variability, and capacity building and outreach. In fact, that also is another added thing. Like you have a training center here, I'm very happy that also has been established. Now, therefore, what needs to be done is that building coastal community resilience. This is very, very important. Because when something happens, the people should not leave away from there. People should not come into the camera and then cry. Rather, they should be bold enough. What should be done? For that, mangroves and leveraging nature-based solutions, in the sense that natural storm barriers are that will reduce wave energy by 30 to 40%. And then carbon sink almost store for more carbon dioxide than rainforest. Livelihood support, if you see, provide fish breeding grounds and honey production. And then preparedness and early warning system, that of course you are doing. Cyclone alerts, IMD and Odisha model, for example, SMS, sirens and coastal loudspeakers, so that people are aware about this. Evacuation drills like Odisha's zero casualty approach during Cyclone Feni 2019. So there was not even a single person died during that. Community task forces, fishermen trained as first responders. So whenever something comes, they are bold enough to do that, and they have been trained to do this. Then tech innovations are GIS mapping identifies flood-prone zone, like Chennai uses this post-2015 floods. And then Samudra app, you have, INCOIS has developed that, weather alert for fishermen, launched by INCOIS. And if I continue that, some case studies, if I see, Odisha, for example, if you see 10,000s of people are killed in 1999, but if you see, after that, if you see this cyclone Fani, less than 100 deaths. That again due to their own, casual approach. But if you see Tamil Nadu post-tsunami resilience, again, result is that there is not even a single person died in that. So these are some of the glaring examples. Now, understanding coastal community resilience is that the ability of a system to absorb disturbances, reorganize and retain its core functions, structure and feedback. That means ecological resilience, if I say, ability of ecosystem to absorb shock, for example, drought and fire, without collapsing or shifting state. I mean, let's say that if Tamil Nadu something happened, they'll go to Kerala or they will go to, no. Rather, ecological resilience should be there. Then social resilience, like capacity of communities to cope with and recover from disasters. Third thing is that economic resilience, like economy's ability to withstand and bounce back from shocks like climate events or trade disruptions. Then localized adaptation. Now, if you see some examples, indigenous farming techniques like, in Kerala, there is something called Pokali rice in Kerala, and there is salt-resistant crops in Sundarban. All those things have been developed by this. So even if there is a cyclone, even if there is a saltwater erosion, they would be able to see that they have their own crop. Then ecosystem-based adaptation, like using natural barriers like mangroves, dunes instead of concrete structures. Then coastal mangrove restoration for storm protection. And then livelihood diversification, fishermen taking up aquaculture or tourism to reduce climate dependence. So this means that localized adaptation. That means you must see that what is locally available, how to, based on the environment prevailing in that condition, how to adopt that. Then understanding coastal, again, if I say capacity building, transform vulnerability into resilience, enhancing social capital, and then improving infrastructure and services, and then strengthening early warning systems, education, and livelihood diversity. Then proactive adaptation. If I give some example, vulnerability factory sea level rise. So for that, what we can do is that elevated housing and floating farms, cyclones, early warning systems, storm-resistant shelters, erosion, mangrove restoration, and artificial reefs, and economic shocks if you have microfinance and skill development. So these are things that needs to be done. Probably INCOIS can take some of the steps in this regard, because you have a lawyer here sitting in front of me. Therefore, he would be able to do that. And then, we also should have ocean literacy. It just put together, like universities which are, doing, the various program on not only in ocean sciences. Now, in Goa University, let me tell you that we have implemented NEP-based curriculum. NEP-based curriculum means if you have 160 credit to be earned by a student, 80 credits are major and 80 credits are minor. In that minor, you can always choose any of the elective courses, anything like the ocean sciences. And again, that should be in collaboration with the INCOIS, in collaboration with the IITM and such institutions. So that is what we are going to do that. And I'm very happy that the director has agreed to start a center of excellence. I hope I can say that. Center of excellence. And then, therefore, we'll have a laboratory to land approach, local stewardship, and then more importantly, I think that Ms. Bhattacharya was saying about women-led support group is very, very important for this. And let me tell you that in Goa University, for any activity, it's always, if there are 10 members in one committee, 5 will be women, 5 will be men. So that is the approach we always do. So then inclusive adaptation. Then now we have to see that what is going on across. I'll finish in another 10 minutes time. Okay. Marine robotics, because I've been given 45 minutes. So I prepared myself for that. Had I been given 15 minutes, I would have finished by that. Okay, marine robotics and AI. That is, AI enhances. You have AOVs and ROVs, and AI-driven models for ocean prediction and disaster early warning. This AI-driven, that needs to be done. That training has to be done. AI-powered robots can monitor water quality, track pollution, because you know that in future, or at least in near future, you will find that many of the IT companies are now reducing the intake. They are all going for this. So therefore, here also we need to do that. IoT sensor for sea level, storm surges, and shoreline changes. IoT means Internet of Things. Satellite and drones for flood mapping. That could be done. These all could be done by collaboration with the university or any of the higher education institutions. As in, you can give a project as a project to that, and therefore we would be able to map through drone wherever satellite map, the data is not to that. Then you can always. GIS for predictive models, early warning system. Then blue economy innovation, that is offshore renewable energy, eco-friendly aquaculture, and biodegradable marine materials. And then AI, IoT, and remote sensing to monitor marine ecosystems. This is the need of the hour now. And the waste to resource model, zero emission logistics. So I've also shown here some coastal resilience cycle. And role of coastal communities are what? They have to take a stewardship, local stewardship. In fact, there is a glaring example is that Animal Warriors Conservation Society at Andhra Pradesh removed 26 tons of ghost nests and 5.5 tons of marine plastic, boosting income by 14 lakh. And then restoration projects engage locals directly. That's Tamil Nadu, for example. 50 crore revival of Khairiyachalli, including 8,500 artificial reef. Then we have Indian knowledge system. That is traditional fishing communities like Kholi, Maharashtra, and Tandal, Gujarat, use general knowledge for marine conservation, seafood production, and aquaculture practices. Then work at grassroots, that is Kadakudi, that is Sea Court in Kerala. Thank you. Sea Court in Kerala, that is village elders adjudicate, access, conservation, and enforce sustainable fishing norms during open, the beach meetings, and youth-led inclusion and literacy. That again happens in Kerala. Then policy and governance. Lastly, policy and governance, that is, you have coastal regulation zone, guide coastal land use and development, protect sensitive ecosystem and communities from exploitation. Then also we can have integrated coastal zone management planning, that is sustainable and balanced development. That means combining with the ecological, economical, and social perspective. This is very important. Then coordination needs is alignment between central, state, and local authorities. Because if you do in isolation, nothing will work. Rather, you have to have this coordination. And then ensure effective policy implementation and enforcement. So if you look at the blue economy and sustainability development versus conservation, ocean-based livelihoods, which I have already said, like schemes like PM Matsya Sambada Yojana aim to boost fish production through sustainable aquaculture, blue tourism, seaweed farming, and marine biotech. Long-term health and equity, investing in marine biodiversity protection and monitoring ocean pollution, etc. And then inclusive development of coastal communities, especially women and marginalized group. Earlier it was dominated by men, but this has to be there because women, that motherly touch will certainly help in many ways. So that I have experienced after I became the Vice Chancellor. So many of the damages could be sorted out because of my teachers, my deans who are women, the folk. Then national mission and global commitments, that is Deep Ocean Mission launched by the Ministry of Earth Sciences, focused on deep sea mining, biodiversity, underwater robotics, climate studies, and marine conservation. Of course, it supports Atmanirbhar Bharat via indigenous marine science capacity building, that is through universities, strengthen India's blue economy, UN Decade of Ocean Science, which I already said, Sustainable Development Goals, and India's progress, if you see, coastal zone regulation, marine protected areas, sustainable fisheries capacity building, deep ocean mission alliance with SDG 14, etc. So this is where I said inclusive and equitable partnership is very, very important for climate resilience, which I have not seen. Therefore, role of women I have written here, and then small island communities, and then inclusive adaptations. These three are very, very important for inclusive and equitable partnership for climate resilience. And then vision for the future, if you see, resilient cost, data plus policy plus people, and then scaling up success. That is very, very important. So if I say resilient cost, protecting rich ecosystem from sea level rise, storm and erosion, example, Odisha's mangrove restoration under, integrated coastal zone, activity. Data plus policy plus people, a unified approach to resilience. Data, INCOIS provides ocean forecast, early warnings. Policy, CRZ norms and blue economy mission for sustainable development. And people, local communities co-leading adaptation, we have already seen that. So therefore, the key takeaways are that by sitting in the room and doing a research and then publishing will help you, of course, contributing science, but you always have to see that there is something like academic research and then community engagement. You have to see that what are the problem which the local populace is confronting with. Take that as the research topic and work on that. Let me tell you that since 2022 onwards, all the master's program in Goa University is doing this, where last semester we have a dissertation. A student can go anywhere and work that, but then the topic they do will be whether it is social sciences, humanities, or science. They will be taking a topic on the local, that Goa, specific Goa-centric problem, and that will be solved, and that is being implemented, or that will be the policy for the Goa government. So that's a very therefore, the key takeaways from my talk today is that ocean warming is real and urgent. Partnerships across science, society, and governance are very essential, because it is not like people sitting in somewhere and taking a policy which is not right. Rather, any policy which is being, to be, new policy or amending the existing policy, you have to have a proper research, you have to have the proper output. Only then that can be amended or new law can come. And that is applicable across any discipline. And then resilience has to be built from bottom up. You cannot sit at the top and say that you do this, that will not work. Rather, it has to be from the bottom, it has to come up, because they have to feel. Therefore, I said that you have to include all those, and they have to feel it, and then they have to be trained, so it has to come, so that whatever work we do will be most successful. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And I must thank Dr. Balakrishnan Nair for giving this opportunity, because this is an institution which is very close to my chest, in the sense that 2.5 decades also, I have been interacting ever since Dr. Shailesh Naik was the director. Since then, I have been taking projects, etc. Therefore, after he took over as a director, he has given me a chance to talk to you. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much, sir, for your very, end-to-end, probably the research and what is need. That is the most important part, what we should do, that particularly the coastal resilience. Sir, I'll just add one of the things, like here, if we see our thinking, scientists, we are doing our probably the good job, and there is a need of, binding all the aspect like legislator, then kind of judiciary and executives. They are the final authority who are the implementing at the ground level. So whatever we are doing, as whatever the use, the cycle is really means interesting that. So we should, I think, under halfway we have already passed in the ocean decades. So in the next 5 years, we should more engage about those local things. Then only probably we will be able to succeed. Otherwise, next again another 1 decade we have to plan again. Thank you so much, sir, for you. So it's very, time, because of time lack, I'll just invite our next speaker, our chief guest, today's chief guest, Dr. Balakrishnan Reddy. I'll just introduce briefly. Sir, you will present this. You will. आप ऐसे ही बोलेंगे. Okay. So it's very difficult to introduce him. It's really. So, but I'll do, sir, because your thing is like he is being currently working as a acting chairman of the Telangana Higher Education Council. He is a distinguished academic and legal expert in international law. Formerly, he served as Dean of School of Law at Mahindra University and held pivotal role in Nalsan University of Law, including Vice Chancellor and Registrar. With an LLM in International Law from Osmani University and an MPhil and PhD in International Air and Space Law from Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. Dr. Reddy's expertise in international air and space law has been acknowledged globally. He has presented papers at prestigious forums such as UN IDI, to NALSAR for holding its 78 sessions from September in September 2017. Dr. Reddy has been a member of drafting committee constituted by Indian Space Research Organization for the drafting of model space legislation for India and the sanitization program of WTO and GATS and globalization of legal profession opportunities and challenges for Indian legal fraternity. He is instrumental, and he is one most importantly. He led the many draft of state legislature, 112 legislature he led the drafting. Few of them is very important, like Telangana Juvenile Justice Act 2015, Telangana Agricultural Product and Livelihood Stock Market Act 2016, and then this Andhra Pradesh Land Acquisitions Bill 2016, Telangana Land Acquisition Bill 2017, and many more. I think it's endlessly. So he has 25 years of research experience. He is also my teacher, as we say. Most importantly, he taught 1 year. We did PG diploma in advanced maritime law. There I know only how these two parallel bodies need to be connected together. So he mentored many PhD candidates, 16 candidates under him, and he has been awarded a prestigious award for Government of Telangana in 2017, that is Meritorious State Teachers Award. So with this, I'll just invite him to talk about blue economy and its opportunities. Thank you, sir. Welcome.
So, good morning and good afternoon to one and all, respected dignitaries on the dais, researchers, administrators, and my dear students. I know how many you are from legal background. I know you are scientists, scholars. Anybody except law background? Then how it's very difficult for me to engage you, a law person, talking to non-law person. So anyhow, but I'll start with, maybe you are a scientist or technocrat or bureaucrat, whatever. But what is the commonality among all of us, Ignorance of law is no excuse. You can't say that, sir, I'm a scholar in earth sciences or whatever, why should I know law? No, you have to know law. That's why ignorance of law is, no excuse. Second point, ignorance of constitution is no excuse. Why? You studied constitution part of your, high school. Why ignorance of constitution is, not excusable? Because fundamental law for land. Laws comes from emanates from the constitution. It's a supreme law. So each one of all of us have to know about. Need not be expert, I'm not going to say that, expert in constitution. Knowing is a fundamental duty as a citizens. Third point I want to tell you, most of we are going to have, this is a futuristic thing. Ignorance of WTO is no excuse. We are talking about oceans, we are talking about all these things, but all links to the WTO because it's a part of a global treaty. Whatever we talk about, oceans, governance, regulations, all, part of the WTO because India is a party to that. That's why these three things, I want to tell you that, common to everybody, you should know that. Okay, coming to the importance of oceans, already spoke about 71% of the globe is covered with waters, mere waters, but these oceans and water is giving resources. What kind of resources? Both living resources, non-living resources. All today we are so much dependent, and Professor Menon already spoke about what kind of dependency we are depend on the oceans. So because of dependency, because of importance, then, regulations started. So it's, when I say regulations, it is not new. If you go back to the, 300-400 years of history, oceans are not new. Oceans are there. They are, giving resources to the humanity. So that's why when resources are there, states, countries, state I mean countries, more particularly coastal states, started their regulations. Earlier instances, there were no regulations, no laws. Then people started giving a thoughts about how to regulate. Can any coastal state go and claim, sovereignty in the, seas or oceans? So that's why earlier, if you look at 16th, 17th century, there were certain theories were developed to regulate oceans. So that's called mare liberum, means freedom of the seas. Then, other counter to that, sovereignty in the seas, mare clausum, closed sea or sovereignty, and then, AdSense all. So this kind of notions, because of lack of regulation, started, and of course, last 400-500 years more particularly, many other theories were developed because of lack of law, absence of law, void in law. So regulations are, thinkers started, telling that, we should regulate because oceans gives a lot of importance. That kind of thinking happened. There were theories. I'm not going to get bored, but 5 minutes will give you, background, and then I'll come to the current. So there were theories like visual horizon. You go and say, stand on the sea and see, then you claim that is going to be your coastal state, or horizon theory, and, cannon shot, you fire cannon and shot, whatever, wherever cannon goes, you claim that this is the land so that you can utilize resources. Of course, today those are not going to work, because today we are living in a cannons and all those things. But this was a history, it's a, oceans have a history, regulations, that today. But thanks to two institutions, one is the League of Nations, and then other one is the United Nations, where lot of regulations on seas, oceans came. League of Nations started in after First World War, but it did many things. But one contribution it did for the oceans is codification of existing ocean laws. Codification conference happened in 1930. Then it started existing lot of customary principles here and there. They codified and they made law. That's the League of Nations. But after that, why League of Nations came? Because of First World War. When it happened, it's like, discussion, because I know 2 hours place, we are in a mood of sleeping. That's why I don't want that. So when First World War happened, general knowledge. When, I am connecting the, this thing to oceans, 1914 to 18. That's why, we don't want war. We created an institution. First World War, 10 million people died. So the main purpose of this organization was to, prevent Second World War, but you all know that. Was it Second World War happened? 1939 to 44, 45. The repercussions. So around 15 million people died. Out of 15 million, 26 millions were combatant and 24 millions were non-combatant, means civilians. So almost 50% of the civilian population died. So then, they again created an institution. So after this, Second World War, Einstein said, if Third World War comes, for Fourth World War, humanity has to fight with arrows and bows. I don't know whether Third World War happened or not. Did it happen? No. Thanks to United Nations. That's where United Nations, if you look at the opening statement, to save succeeding. Why United Nations? United Nations is part of ocean governance. That's why I'm just giving 2-3 minutes. It says, to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war, which twice in our lifetime, twice means First World War, twice in our lifetime has brought untold sorrow to mankind. So when we exist, we talk about oceans and all those things. That's why that is the prime mandate of UN. And the United Nations did a great job. I'm not going to the details, but I'm coming to the topic. So it, though I said the League of Nations tried to codify, but more codification, more proper laws came with the United Nations. Particularly, there are 3 important treaties. There are many, but I'm putting context here. One is the UNCLOS 1, 1958, UNCLOS 2, United Nations Convention on Law of Sea, UNCLOS ka matlab. So first, 1958, it laid down a lot of rules, regulations for ocean governance. Second, 60, and third, UNCLOS. That is the law when we talk about ocean governance. Today, why I'm using the, masterpiece. It has, 20 chapters, 100 and, 320 articles. So it is the, whatever today we talking about the ocean governance, ocean pollution, ocean regulations, everything, the UNCLOS 3 is the important law. That's why I'm just mentioning you. So today, that, UNCLOS is binding because parting to any treaty, accepting to any treaty, consenting to any treaty is the sovereign prerogative of countries, nation states. By the way, how many countries are there in the world? I get a lot of doubts here. I am here to clarify doubts from you. How many countries are there in the world? Because you are talking about oceans. We are talking about global. Kitna countries hai? Huh? 19? 193 are UN members. 195 maybe somebody? Maybe. Huh? I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. So clever answer is around 200, 205, 6, whatever. Better, we can say 200. And most of the countries are, nations are sovereign countries. So I'm coming back to the, parting to any treaty, whether, there are so many. Today, if we talk about oceans, ocean governance, international treaties are there. But general phenomena is that parting to any treaty is a sovereign prerogative because sovereign countries we are talking about. So, but once countries accept through signing, ratification, all those things. So, but it is their obligation. Countries have to implement their laws, whether morally, legally, socially, whatever. So today, UNCLOS is also part of that. So today, countries, most of the countries, accepted India, and then we have, legislations. So if I had to talk about ocean governance, ocean laws, because, Professor Menon was talking about the climate regulations. He used the word. Yes, regulations are, climate regulations. You are, when we talk about sustainable development, sustainability, climate is important. So when we talk about regulations, this you can apply to any existing, any contemporary, context. I can say ocean governance. How oceans are governed? National regulations. If I say 200 plus countries, every country, of course, not all, because the issue with oceans are some of the landlocked states, you all know that. So countries regulate their own laws. Lot of ocean governance, ocean regulations today is happening through bilateral mechanism, countries to country, and lot of other modus operandi of regulating the ocean governance through regionalism. Though regionalism started way back in 40s for after Second World War. Regional protect, NATO, CETO, CENTO, Warsaw Pact, those kinds of organizations came, but today regionalism is synonymous for economic, activities. Ocean governance is no exception. European Union, OECD, NAFTA, SAFTA, all those, organizations regulate their own oceans through their, region-specific thing. But today, global regulations are important. Fourth one, national, bilateral, regional, global. When I say global, I just now said institutions like League of Nations, United Nations particularly, there are other organizations, part of the treaties. 15 to 20 important international treaties which regulate the different facets of ocean governance. Maybe, insurance to safety to security to all. So India is a party to almost all important treaties. I just now said again reminding, parting to treaty is a sovereign prerogative, but once we are party to treaty, we means country, our countries have to implement. So for implementation, again in domestic we have a 15 to 20 important legislations which regulate, oceans, including Shipping Act 1958 to recent past, lot of developments are happening, part of the globalization. So, or in other words, I can tell you, the global governance is, influenced by globalization, liberalization, privatization, digitization, and COVIDization. COVIDization? It's a term coined by me. You don't find in dictionary. COVIDization is nothing but COVID pandemic 19. So COVIDization, last 4-5 years, the kind of things which are happening in almost all sectors. You name, I always say that, no individual, no country, no industry is escaped from the COVID pandemic or COVIDization. But there is a degree of difference. And how the maritime industry, how shipping industry suffered, we all know that last 4-5 years. So now, of course, we are regaining. So when I say globalization, because today we are living in an interdependent world, how mighty countries, how powerful countries, how big countries, it won't matter. We have to depend on other countries. Whether right or wrong, I'm not going to debate. If you ask me, sir, globalization is good, is it really helping, majority of the countries, poor countries? I'm not there. But it's a fact. Today, all industries, all sectors, including maritime sector, is no exception to this, globalization process. Or, countries like India, we are talking about blue economy. Blue economy are, started with again, liberalization. India, we started liberalization in early 90s, and, I was just reading morning. So one of the early sectors which took the clue from, globalization in India is liberalization, is maritime sector. After that, lot of new initiatives. Last 3 decades plus, if you look at lot of liberal policies which are, part of the government of India, earlier government, and particularly last 10 to 11 years, the kind of initiatives the government of India, because these are all global commitments. Just now I said that international treaties, including WTO, India is a party, we had to implement. So why India is liberalized? One is a global mandate, other one is our own. So these kind of things which, when we say governance, so India liberalized its economy, general economy, and marine economy is no exception to that. Part of that liberalization process, we have initiated lot of things. I don't have much time. I don't want to get you people go. Already, at 12:30, you are going to, feel, angry, hunger. Hunger leads to angry. If you are hunger, then, you may say, sir, stop. I don't want to get that opportunity. I'll stop very soon. So what I mean to say that these kind of initiatives, government has initiated a lot of things in part of general economy, and, marine industry or, ocean, governance is no exception to that. Last 4-5 years, the kind of new policies, new legislations have come up to help the economy. Part of that, you all know that, whether it is a, Maritime India Vision Document 2030 or Maritime Amrit Call today, latest thing is 2047. So I always fascinated to quote wherever I go. So Maritime India Vision Document 2030, and you are also celebrating, Ocean Decade 2030. So coincidentally, this document, you as a scholars, I think most of you know, because I am new to this maritime, but you all know that you are experts. So this document emphasizes opportunities, everything. If you look at it, emphasizes up to 30. Though this document was released by Prime Minister in December 2023, but up to 30, what kind of opportunities this document showing us? We are all scholars. 3 lakh crore investment, 20 lakhs jobs. And I should compliment, earlier, yes, career opportunities. If you look at, there is a lot of scope in the, ocean, marine, sort of thing. But unfortunately, do we have that much of education? Because I am a, person coming from different background. You people can tell me, what kind of maritime or marine or, ocean education is there? Maybe Professor Menon will tell, because he is, acquainted with this subject, because just now you saw my, CV, aerospace defense, of course. So, but this is where the problem today is, career. There is a lot of, because whether it's a maritime, whether it's a shipping, whether in any other industries, we moved from public sector dominating industries to now private participation is happening, what we call PPP, public-private. So there is no dearth of opportunities. There are, like this document says 20 lakhs jobs, but do we have education? I don't know, sir, you people can tell, do we have a maritime education? How many universities are offering, maritime education, whether it's a management related, logistic related, legal, I know. I can confidently say we don't have much, legal education. So since opportunities are there, and I was just talking about, sir was mentioning, inclusive approach. Yes, I developed a concept called CSR versus ASR. You know CSR? What is CSR? What is ASR? Academic social responsibility. If organization is there, or Goa University is there, Nalsar University is there, what is our job? We have to respond to the needs, current and future, needs or challenges of society. So that's why I've done a lot of research on academic social responsibility. So sir was mentioning about how, organizations like, those who are working in the ocean field, helping the poor fishermen all. So I want to tell you, have developed, this academic social responsibility. Part of that, I was trained, actually I trained, NALSAR. I mean, 1,000 paralegals on land-related problem. Land is important. When you talk about oceans, you know that very well, but I'm talking about land. 1,000 paralegals picked up from villages with Telugu medium background, also trained, and ultimately 15 years, these land paralegals helped to settle, more than 1 million. This is the documents which, I'm a law person, I speaks with, authentication. So, 13 lakhs, more than 1 million people got benefited with the NALSAR intervention of inclusive approach, giving back to the society, academic social responsibility. All these I think, Professor Menon, it's a time for universities should come forward and, we have to give back to the society because universities have a time, talent and freedom. We have a time to do research. We have a talent and we have also freedom. No other organization, I can tell you, to write one article, they need, 2 paragraphs in government, they had to ask, 10 bosses. But we as academicians, we have a, freedom. So that freedom, that academic freedom should be used for taking up the challenges, society face. That's what my, this thing. So this is what academic social responsibility. Part of that, we have initiated. Sir was mentioning about some of the, initiations, part of the, fisherman community and other. I think we should do more and more. So finally, yes, I don't want to take much time again. So I'm happy to share with you all that, as a chairman Telangana Higher Education Council, what is our aim, motto, object? Higher education at the doorsteps of the needy with affordable cost without compromising quality. Affordability, accessibility, quality. Part of that, general higher education, we are also recently initiated our, Telangana government just passed GO because it's recommended by Higher Education Council. Earlier in Kottagudem, we used to have a mining, engineering university, but now we converted that into the Earth Sciences University. Just, because you are all connected with the Earth Science, so Telangana government is, coming out with Earth Sciences University, sir. I'm happy to share with you all. So these are, many initiatives we are doing. Since I'm talking about, oceans and earth sciences, so this is, I think, those who are interested, I can approach you, we can, take it, further. So with this, I think, I will stop here. If you have questions, I'm more into, I am here to interact with you, not to give a lecture because I told you the lab background. But this kind of information will help you. Today, lastly, we are living in a multidisciplinary approach. Whether you are a lawyer or scientist, all, but one has to learn other discipline. That is what sir was mentioning about NEP. Not only NEP, but other things. So since multidisciplinary approach, we have to learn other things and the technology. Like it was, I'm a law person, but now there is no escape for me to have to learn technology. So all these technologies, of course. Technology is not new to humanity, but technology, the kind of transformation which is happening, technology, ocean sciences are adopting, very commendable. So if you have a law-related, questions, I would be happy, okay? If you can, Otherwise, we can break for lunch, okay? It's your wish, okay? Thank you. Thank you, sir, giving me this opportunity. Yeah, please. I know it was a little speed because I like a super express because time was my. Because university is meant for supplying the experts to industry. But from my career, regularly we are taking the students and we are observing. Students are coming here to learn. So it is happening reverse way. Do you observe this one? Yes, I have answered to you. Yes, one of my mandate is, what is the mandate of Higher Education Council? To update the syllabus, So it is happening or not, I'm not going to the previous, but, my mandate is to update the syllabus. That syllabus has to be in sync with industry needs, in sync with the global, requirements. Today, happy to share some of the young people are there, friends. Next 15, 20 years are going to be very important because India being a youth nation of the world, youngest population. You know how much population we have today? I have a bad habit of asking questions. What is the population, India's population today? Very good answer, 1.5 billion, okay? So 1.5 or 150 crores nearing, okay, I'm giving you. So, 65% of the population is 35 years aged. 50% of the population is 25 years aged. That is where we call youngest country, youth nation. And friends, I'm happy to share with you that globe is eyeing on India, viewing on India. Globe is going to depend on India. That's why, sir, whatever we do, not only, we have to look at our requirements, we have to see the global requirements. What, other countries require. It is a time. So when we talk about the syllabus, when we talk about giving, not only we have to see the requirement of our own, I'm going a step further, saying that global requirements. So that is the kind of, dependency we are creating, we as a, and part of another thing, so 2047, I said, Maritime Amrit Kal Vision 2047 is going to talk about these things. So India is going to be a leader, and we are moving from a third world country to third largest economy. Now in fourth, we are going to become a third, largest economy by 2047. What we are dreaming, what we are visualizing, developed country, Vikasit Bharat. So in that, I think, we are going to play a very important role, particularly education is going to play important role. Definitely, I agree. And we started in Telangana Council. This year, complete revision of entire, last 10 years we haven't done. We are doing that revision. Today, I, skipped my revision committee meeting because, Rahman Saab, commended me. Though he is my student, sir, you have to come. So, sorry, program, cancel karke mai aaya. So, that is the task we are doing, but it takes time, you all know that. So, that is what, syllabus, other things. Yes, sir, I am ready. Recently, 2 weeks back, there was a shipwreck in Kerala coast. When it comes to the, what are the actions from as a country and as a state, there was a lot of confusion in the, between the officers that whether that it is belonging to the state or it has, the country has to take as a national level. So this kind of ambiguity is basically there is a delay. Yeah. Yesterday I was reading that there was no need of putting a case. So what is the actual legal perspective? Where it happened first, then we have to see. When 2 minutes for general explanation. So when we have coastal states, how we can extend jurisdiction. 12 nautical miles today is, territorial waters. 24 nautical miles contiguous zone, outdated because today we are in EEZ. 200 nautical miles of exclusive economic zone. Beyond 200 nautical miles, we have ICs, of course, but today, in the, recent thing, we have up to 350 nautical miles, coastal states can, extend their jurisdiction when it comes, non-living resources, particularly digging and all those things. So of course, the UNCLOS 3 says that 200 nautical miles, we have a jurisdiction. Beyond that, it comes, international ICs. So when things are happening within our jurisdiction, we can, take action, we can do that. But, if it is out of these 200 nautical miles, then international rules, regulations comes, that. I don't know about this particularly. Then, no, we have a jurisdiction. It's a law. And I don't know how many we know. So what is the coastal line of India? You are experts here, you have to tell. I'm a space law person, what I know about you see. Yeah? Yeah, that is what update I want. Earlier 7,515.6 kilometers. Today, 11,000 plus. Clever answer we can give. That is the new development. But we are going to have a lot of legal issues. How, is or other countries are going to recognize this 11,000? Because it's a, you are claiming. So maybe that's a futuristic issue, but this is a update, Yes, okay, any, yes. Okay. So generally, I'm talking about law is, I said bilateral, whether UN members, this unclass will part. Other non-members also, anybody can, come out with any research or any exchange, anything actually. Bilateral agreement is between two countries, why bilateral is? It is a very easy. Bilateralism is a philosophy based on the principle of quid pro quo, means I extend this facility to you extend. So today thousands of bilateral agreements are there in the maritime sector, in the ocean sector, whether it's a scientific research, whether resource management, whether it's a exchange, all those. That is why sometimes we have a problem with multilateral treaties. That's why this is a way countries, if X country, Y country are agreed, they can go and they can do, and implementation also will become easy. So one more related things, there are, this is he's talking about the research. So there are three important things you all know as a law person. Global commons, because I should compliment Suresh. Suresh, Antarctica is a global common. Yeah, it belongs to entire humanity. Though, so global commons, we can do research, but you don't have a right to claim sovereignty over there because it's everybody's property or global. Global commons, common concerns. Today, sir was mentioning about pollution, I will tell you. So common concerns, when we are using the global property, whether it's Arctica, Antarctica, then outer space, whatever, all. So this belongs to everybody. So we have to use in a prudent manner. You have a right to use resources for scientific purposes. Countries have a right, but you don't have a right to destroy that. That's why prudent manner, sensible manner, we have to use. So research, not only within bilateral, but even you can extend your research, and that is where Maitri, that is where countries are doing research. So as long as you can extract, you can do research, but you don't claim. So you can't claim that I visited Maitri, it's going to my property. International law won't agree. It's only up to research only. Global commons, common concerns means environmental challenges. Common heritage, there is other principle. You know what is a common heritage? Any fruits coming from these things belongs to everybody. We have to give something to the global society. That's called common heritage. So for example, just now I said up to 350 nautical miles, coastal states can extend their jurisdiction, they can dig resources. But up to 200 miles, but now 150 miles margin is there. That is, if states have, I said 200 nautical miles, even up the water, underwater also, states have jurisdiction. But today, UNCLOS is giving a more relaxation that up to 350 nautical miles, coastal states can extend their jurisdiction if they have a capacity, if you have a technology, other things. But these 150 miles, if you dig resources, you have to give something shared to the global community. That's called common heritage of mankind, because this is a resource which you are taking from common thing. So there is a one, enterprise there, you can monitor all those things. So this is what, these general things, but you can, aware of, these things. Say yes, I think, yeah.
Any colleges or universities in India, they are giving ocean law degrees, exclusive ocean law degrees?
Very good question, sir. I am always, whether, maritime, all those things. Today, the industry, if you ask me, sir, you name one maritime lawyer, I don't have answer. Sorry, huh? So I'm trying to produce people like him, but that is null, sir. Yes, I'll tell you part of my social part of my social responsibility. I know whether I to share or I know whether, because we are good in blaming others. Aapne nahi kiya, government nahi kiya, aapne kya kiya? Why not? It starts from you. I believe in that principle. That's why I started these courses. Here, today technology. I'll tell you because some of the students are there. So today I designed some courses and successfully, we implemented. So mingling with technology, law technology with management, all. So I have a courses from deep seabed to outer space, whether it's a course on maritime law, PG diploma, and also master's course, then land laws, then I have a aviation law course, I have a space technology and law, space law, I have a defense and security laws. These are all, online courses. So NALSAR gives that, but unfortunately last 2 years I am out of that. So UGC banned those courses. But again I am trying to revive those courses because potential is there. So this is a scare, this thing. So thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a very, delighted talk. And I know I used to take your lecture 2 hours without paper or anything. He will speak on, going on. I was not able to even sometime understand, but he will go talk going on. So let's thank Professor Balakrishna Reddy for his very insightful talk. And now I invite our director to felicitate our guest of his distinguished guest. First, I request Professor Menon and sir, kindly. Now I request Professor Balakrishna Reddy.
Pleasure meeting you all. Though different audience, I always go and speak. So selfish interest I used to have learning, but today I got disappointed. You haven't asked me more questions.
Sir, this is because of time, sir. You know. So, so maybe we'll discuss during the lunchtime. Okay. So we'll. I'll just.
Ozone layer actually 15, 20 years back now we used to hear about ozone layer is depleting, but now generally we used to have this glacier is melting and some of the countries will disappear in coming years, sir. Is there any?
I think he is the right person. If you ask me, he will
Yes.
environment
So-
knows no boundaries. Okay, that's why all of we have to come together and protect environment as a general. But that is a technology question. I can't.
So just 2 minutes we'll finish. Maybe I request Dr. Sneha for vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am privileged to offer a vote of gratitude as we conclude the enriching World Oceans Day celebration. In the first place, we express our heartful appreciation to our esteemed director, Dr. T.M. Balakrishnan Nair, for his cordial welcome remarks and for establishing an inspiring atmosphere for the members of INCOIS. We are deeply grateful to Dr. Hasibur Rahman for his active involvement and reflection on the importance of World Ocean Day and explanation of the theme of this year, Wonder, Sustaining What Sustains Us. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. N. Suresh Kumar for his captivating presentation, My Southern Lights, which chronicled his breathtaking Antarctic expedition. For those of us who didn't have the opportunity, it was eye-opening and greatly enriching by a distinctive perspective. We are also grateful to Dr. Trishnita Bhattacharya for her presentation on early career ocean professionals, particularly her contribution in facilitating the establishment of the ECOP India node, which provides a nurturing atmosphere for the young researchers to develop their abilities. We are enormously appreciative of the presence and insightful lecture on the World Ocean Day by our guest of honor, the Vice Chancellor of Goa University, Professor Harilal Menon. Your profound information on the ocean today significantly enhanced our comprehension of the climate change in ocean on various levels and the importance of involvement of coastal communities, sir. Our most heartfelt appreciation is extended to our chief guest, Professor V. Balakrishna Reddy, Chairman of the Telangana Higher Education Council, for his enlightening address on the blue economy and its opportunities and the importance of the laws of the sea. So we have all who have marine background, I think we have all studied about UNCLOS in our courses, but in due course of our research, we forget about these things. So thank you so much for revising all these things for us. We extend our heartful gratitude to the Finance Department, Administration, and the ITC Division for their tireless efforts in ensuring the success of this event. We are particularly grateful to Nageshwara sir, Subramanyam sir, Devendra sir, and Vijayji sir for their active involvement and guidance. And lastly, I would like to extend my heartful gratitude to all the colleagues, students, and other members of the audience for their profound interest and enthusiastic engagement. Your attendance marks the significance and success of this occasion. We pledge to maintain the ethos of World Oceans Day and continue our collective endeavors to create a sustainable future and healthier ocean. Thank you all.